The Everything Lydia show is now in session. Lydia the lawyer presiding.
Thank you, beautiful bailiff Stephanie. All rise, yes. We are now in session and court is now in order. The Everything Lydia show court, of course. Well, today we are going to have such a great show. I'm very, very excited. The first thing we're going to have is the Ask Lydia the Lawyer segment, and we're going to be talking about product liability and consumers not necessarily acting in a reasonable manner, or should I say the stupid consumer. The next thing, we have our very special guest, which I will be introducing in a moment. I'm going to be cross-examining this very handsome man here, and we're going to be discussing how to achieve the perfect shave, and we'll learn everything that anyone would ever want to know about grooming. And finally, my guest will be sharing some funny stories about certain celebrities and individuals he's interacted with. And I think he may have even shaved them. So we'll find out about that. Okay, so the first thing, ask Lydia the lawyer. So I am Lydia the lawyer, of course, and people ask me questions all the time. So every show I try to have at least a quick segment about a legal topic that will somehow affect consumers out there and my viewers. So the first thing I want to talk about is product liability in New York. Well, you know that we're going to be talking about shaving. So clearly we're going to be discussing razors and razor blades and the like. In New York, or pretty much anywhere in the United States, a manufacturer has the duty to make a product as safe as possible. Now, the concept of reasonably safe has been subject to certainly much litigation, and that's why we have so many lawsuits in court. But it extends to any and all dangers likely to arise when the product is being used normally in a way that it is anticipated that it will be used. But in addition, even if it's not used in a purpose that it's intended, there still might be liability. For example, I think I mentioned this earlier, you have a table. A table is typically used to either hold an object or to eat from, but there's a chance that someone might actually climb on top of a table and change a light bulb or something. So if someone jumps on a table and it collapses, there might be liability because the manufacturer might be held to a standard to anticipate that someone might jump on the table. However, it's very important to understand that the defect might not be inherent in the product, and the consumer should be certainly made aware that care is needed. But an average adult is not going to have to be told that a knife, a razor, they will cut if you use them. They can cut you when you're cooking. They will cut if you're shaving. That is inherent in the object itself. Dynamite explodes. Electrical appliances should not be used in the shower or the bathtub. Okay. So the key here is a consumer who gets injured by a defective product, not just a product that you're using and you injure yourself using the product as intended or even straying from the way it's intended. But there has to be an actual defect in the product, and that's one of the points I want to make here. I do want to mention there is the however. I love the howevers, or I should say the but, and this is a big but. A consumer who ignores hazards will not succeed in an action that's brought against the manufacturer for product liability. So if you cut yourself with a knife, you're not suing the manufacturer. If, however, you're using the knife and you cut it and the knife falls apart, the handle falls off, and you slice yourself with a part of the knife that is not supposed to be exposed, clearly you might have a claim there. New York view is very typical, as it is in most states. Basically, products are not generically defective merely because they are dangerous. Again, New York does not impose a duty upon a manufacturer to refrain from lawful distribution of a non-defective product, i.e. a razor. So we're going to get to that in 1 second. All right, so I think we basically have the idea. So again, in conclusion, generally speaking, the seller is not held strictly liable for providing the public with a product that is needed and wanted in spite of the potential risk of danger. Another example would be prescription drugs. Obviously, people can overdose on a drug even though it's meant to help people with illnesses or whatever the case may be. Again, historically, the product is what it is. And that's the law. And it was really interesting. Although I've been practicing for almost 25 years now, when you have to just really get specific as to what is the law with regards to products, it's kind of hard to really memorialize that. So that's why I'm doing this, and I want everyone to know that, in conclusion, product liability actions are often quite complex. It's not a question of, yes, you're going to prevail, or no, you're not. There's always gray areas. Establishing fault often requires the assistance of expert testimony, witnesses, unfortunately. There are several theories under which a plaintiff might succeed in a case, and there are also several defenses that a defendant might prevail as well. So what's my advice if you're ever injured by a product? Go to a lawyer. Make sure that they specialize in that particular area. And if you don't know a lawyer, you can always ask Lidia the lawyer. So you can go to my website or contact me or something like that. Okay, now I can't wait. This is the good part. Now, my very special guest. Thank you so much for being here. My guest and co-host today, you've been a driving force in the beauty industry with countless successes. Countless, and I want to hear about some of these, supporting development and launch of products, styling tools, education systems, and marketing for over 30 years. You look way too young, though. My guest is the Better Guy builder, Daniel Marrone.
Thank you.
Daniel,
thank you very much.
I'm so glad you're here. It's really...
I've been excited all the past week.
I wanted to get through that. I didn't even go through a lot of my legal stuff because I'm so excited about what we're going to be talking about. Well, first and foremost, before we get into all of this, and this very handsome, our guest right here, which we'll introduce in a few minutes, let's talk a little bit about you. I want to talk about you. I was very impressed with your background, your history. Just what would you say, or going back, I don't know, from the beginning, tell us a little bit about how you started and how you got to where you are today.
Well, first of all, I'm so thrilled to be here. Thank you so much. And that it's so informative information about product as a manufacturer. It's good to know what my liabilities and what my rights are. So that was really great.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I started a long time ago in the beauty industry. It was something that I wasn't expecting. And through mutual friends, I had just been to a party one night. And
of course you were.
Of course
I was. How most of our jobs start
of course,
at a party
yes.
or at a bar.
There probably was a table and drinking and standing involved, I'm sure. But I was kind of snatched up by a distributor, and they thought that I just had a good presence to help represent their product. And 30 years later, I found myself consulting, and working with a lot of major manufacturers and just having a great time.
Do you mind me asking what that company was? The one.
The first company that I did any work with was a company called Redken.
Oh, I know that very well.
Yeah,
I used to use their workforce hairspray, and then they went out of business.
Yeah.
Or that particular one.
They went
Redken,
over the counter.
Yeah.
And then from there, I went on and worked with color companies. And my last, as an independent contractor, my last big contract was with a company that I love being with. I was with them for 12 years, which was Paul Mitchell Systems. Okay. And I had a great time with them. And they had a wonderful philosophy that I've tried to adopt. When I retired 2 years ago, I said, this is what my model is going to be for my new hobby, which has turned into a lot more than a hobby.
What is that philosophy? I'm curious.
They really believe that if I help you be better, if I help you learn something new and I help you perform or whatever, you'll become very loyal to me. You might buy some of my products too. And I've really modeled my entire company, Evolve Professional, around that philosophy that I'm going to build a better guy.
Yeah.
There is a better you in there, and I'm going to help build that guy. And, maybe you're going to use my shave creams or my razors in the process. Maybe you'll just look at my blog or look at the information and learn how to shave. When you're talking about liabilities, there's a little segment in my information where we're talking about how you can shave an electric razor in a car. Many men do it. I've done it.
Right.
It's not something you want to do.
Well,
be a little hard at stop signs, but it's guys do it. I have seen people on the highway with an electric razor just going through it.
What are you going to do?
And you can do it. That's not something that you can do with a luxury razor. So
you mentioned Evolve Professional.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about Evolve. What is it? How did it come about?
2 years ago, I was trying to anticipate that I was going to be really bored being retired. Which took all of 2 weeks.
Yes.
So I started to develop this new concept line. It's a boutique line. It's really a lifestyle line. And what it Evolve really focuses on is delivering a luxury shave, a professional shave to every man in his own bathroom every morning. You're a woman. You love to go
Yes,
get your
I am.
nails. You love to go get your nails done. Maybe you'll get facials.
Yes, the hair, the whole thing.
Men don't do that. They go get a haircut because a woman's told them that they need one, or they just start looking a little shabby. So otherwise we don't really pamper ourselves that much. More so today than we ever have before.
Right.
But I don't know the men in your life, but probably you tell them all, it's like, hey, you should do this, or, well, that color looks good on you, or something like that.
Yes.
And they follow
Women,
suit.
Absolutely.
In every man, there's 3 women that have guided them, their mother, their wife, or their girlfriend, or their sister. So one of those 3 women, because we don't do the pajama party. We don't do can you imagine, Josh and I sitting around going, oh, how do your legs feel today? They're a little dry. What do you think? It's just not going to happen, or at least not for more than 30 seconds before Josh hits me.
Right.
So I really, I felt that we needed a little more guidance. The men's market happens to be statistically one of the fastest growing segments of the beauty industry today. So I didn't just stumble into that area, but I do have some experience in that area.
Well, I'll tell you, just a quick story. Back in college, I worked in Macy's department store, and I worked for Estee Lauder. And that was the biggest thing, was Lauder for Men. And they had all of these lines that they came out with, the shaving products with the benzocaine in them and all these things. Yeah, and so it's been around, but I see now that, especially grooming and shaving, come on.
Yeah.
Years ago.
Or not shaving. Even not shaving requires shaving.
Exactly, which we're going to, this is so important. And I think most men out there don't realize there's an art.
There is. I've always got a little bit of a shadow on my face. I mean, let's
Very
face
sexy.
it. Thank you, but there's a purpose.
Yeah.
I'm a bald guy. Okay. If I didn't wear black rim glasses and didn't have a little shadow, I would be an egg from here to here. So I break it up. There's a line here. There's a line here. I break it up. Now all of a sudden I'm a little bit more like a bowling ball. So, and it seems to work. But to get the little scruff look, you have to groom. You have to cut a line. You have to do things.
Well. Okay, this is going to be so important. We have Josh sitting here. Before I even get to that, let me just talk about your product for 1 second.
Sure.
I mentioned to you earlier that my dad used to have something that looked very similar to that. Now, it wasn't that, because it used to go like this and open up, right? The butterfly razor.
Yes.
What is this, and how is that different?
Okay, this is very similar to the butterfly razor. We do manufacture a butterfly razor, but this is called a 3-piece, and basically you just twist, it comes apart, you drop the blade in, and then you just twist it back.
So literally right on top.
You just put the blade back in, and that's it. It's a very similar razor.
Okay.
The big difference between what your dad did and what we do is we base all of our razors on weight. The angle is always the same. For the optimal shave, and we all know that the best shave you could ever have is this.
See.
That is your best shave. So we all know that. So if
that would scare me.
If one blade is the best, then why are 7 blades better?
That was my next question. Why are there all of these razors that they start out with, I guess, 2 blades, the double blade, the Bic, and then we're up to like 8 now. Why? Yeah. Why 8 blades? If you're saying that the one blade.
I saw a little thing, I believe, on social media that said, the name of a manufacturer, and it said, we'll just keep adding blades. And eventually, and the quality of the blades are really inferior. You ask any man, he tells you he goes through a blade in 2 weeks. Yeah. Okay, a box of blades, 10 blades, will last you a year.
Really?
Okay, all you have to do is learn how to take care of them. So here's your first tip for all your viewers.
All right, tip number 1, everyone.
A towel or a pair of jeans. The best thing in the world. After you shave, rinse your razor, take your razor, and go 10 times along your jeans. And then turn the razor around, so you're never shaving your jean.
Right.
Okay,
that'll take the balls off if there are any on. Right.
You don't want to do that. You don't want to do that in any fashion.
You know what I'm talking about.
I do.
When you have like the little fabric. I used to take a razor and they used to come off on a sweater or something.
Take them off. Yes. So the fuzz, because I'm just not going to repeat what you just said.
I think the bailiff is getting ready to get order in this courtroom. Yes.
What you've just done is you've stropped your razor, and any man that's gone to a barber knows that a barber, before he shaves you, he strops his razor. He's basically polishing a fine edge. If you strop your razor, even an inexpensive drugstore throwaway razor, if you strop it, it'll last you 4 times as long.
Okay.
So the big difference between what your dad used and what I do is really weight. So all the angles are at 30 degrees, which you'll see when I shave Josh, is the optimal angle to shave at. So if you go off, nothing happens.
Okay.
Okay? The only way you can cut yourself with one of these razors
Sideways.
is if you're too fast or you go sideways.
Sideways, yeah.
And obviously you're not supposed to do that.
Right,
So
right. Okay.
the big difference is the weight. A hardier skin like my own and beard, you would use a heavyweight razor. You're always going to hold the razor very lightly and let the weight of the razor do the job.
So that's a
Josh-
big difference between the disposable ones, which weigh
Right.
nothing,
Correct.
right?
Where you have to push.
Yeah.
You know.
Particularly the big disposable ones, like they're terrible.
Well, all of those, even the multi-track vibrating with a light and a vacuum and a GPS to find the hairs.
I have to get one of
those. I used one to get here today. I just plugged in the address.
Well,
it was
that's
great. And even when you do something like that,
Yeah.
it's still the same thing. It's an inferior quality blade. You have to push. They're very thin. They're very flexible. They're nowhere near what you should be using.
So tell us what you have and what everyone needs, and we're going to get our model in here. I just
Okay.
want to say hello. Josh, thank you for being so patient. You're a very handsome man, and I can't wait for him to shave you. I think this is going to be great. Okay, so what do we need? What does every man need in terms of this?
Here's how you start. Now, I'm not against multi-blade razors. In fact, I make handles that accommodate a triple blade, what I call the speed shave. You got up late, you're running, you're racing, you've got an overnight somewhere. I probably have 4 dop bags. One bag is just my quick overnight bag or take it to the gym, and then
Right.
there's my weekend bag, and there's my week bag, and then there's I'm moving in bag.
Right.
So basically, it's not a terrible thing to use one of those razors, but you should really try not to use it as often.
Okay.
What I do during the week is every single morning, if I'm going to cut a line, I start with this. And how
What do you mean cut a line?
Cut a line. Okay, so how do I cut a line? The way I cut a line is right through here. See, I've got a little shadow, and
Yes,
I
yes,
just
it's
have a
very
little
defined
line,
right there.
and then
Okay.
up and through
so
here.
it's like painting when they
Yes.
cut in.
I don't want hair going all, getting into my eyelashes.
Uh-huh.
So, I'll take this off, and I'll take this off, and I'll cut a line. It's also really great because I see guys with scruff, but it's great because when you're wearing a tie, it's irritating.
Yeah.
You start getting razor burn and bumps, and so cutting a line is not bad for the scruff thing.
Okay.
So every morning I start the same. I take a shower. First of all, I go to the gym because what Evolve is all about is
Lifestyle.
yeah, it's
I
a
know.
lifestyle.
That's
You got to
great.
go to the gym.
It's
I mean,
true.
I'm over the speed limit. I'm in the gym 7 days a week, and everybody could do it. I mean, if you haven't seen your feet or not sure you still have them, it's time for you to do some sit-ups. That's my advice to men. It's just you got to do it.
Right.
Then I go home and I will take a shower, and then I will start with my luxury shave, and it's really easy. I just take my washcloth, hot water, wring it out. I hold it against my face for a couple of minutes. Then I apply a shave oil. Why do you apply a shave oil?
I don't know. Why don't you tell us?
Okay. One of the things about shave creams is they're pH balanced to make the hairs bristle, which also makes your skin
Are you going to
bristle.
do this on him?
We're going to do,
you
it
want
on.
to do? You want to do it while you're talking? You can demonstrate all the
Absolutely.
products. We might as well
Absolutely.
do that.
And you know what? I brought a little surprise for you today.
Oh, I love surprises.
So
Thank
while
you.
we're demonstrating that, we have a product because we're going to start doing women's products. We've got a couple of products that are coming out. One that you really love, we just launched. It's a sports cream for guys. And I had my son and all his friends name it, who are all athletes. And they decided that the name for it, and the bailiff might want to get ready for this. It's called Rub One Out. And we basically named it that because you want to rub out the sore muscles and stuff. And they thought it was funny, and I was a little nervous, but I said, "Oh, what the heck!"
Right. Well,
And,
you get a lot of attention with that one.
Let me tell you, it was a big seller.
Yeah.
So
What
here,
should
we're
I
going to
do?
put this on your lap just to
geez.
protect your
Sorry.
lovely dress. Okay.
you.
And here's what we're going to do. We're going to start with this. Okay. Just got
Should I
some
take my
warm
rings
water.
off?
Yes, that would
Okay.
be a great idea. So we're going to start with some warm water. Okay. And we're
I'm
just
ready.
going to leave that there.
Lift this up a little. Sorry if the audio. I just touched my mic. Sorry, Mike.
Okay. So this product isn't out yet. We're just going to shake it.
Am I one of the first?
You're going to be the first person live on television to use it.
That's great.
Okay, so
Tell me what to do.
I'm going to put a couple of drops in your hand. Okay, and what it is it's 9 low molecular weight
Okay.
oils.
What do I do? Rub?
Okay.
Rub one out?
And you kind of try not to get it on yourself.
Okay.
Okay,
Can I do it over the water?
You can do it over the water.
Okay.
See, it's nice and it's got dead
Oh.
sea salts in it. Okay, and just massage it into your hands.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm going
and,
to the towel now.
Come
No,
back.
I'm at
Come
the
back to
towel.
me.
Oh.
Come back to me. Don't leave
This
me.
feels good.
It's a big problem in my life. Women are always running. You got to stay with me here. Come on, put your hands
Okay.
together like
Yes.
you're praying.
Yes.
Okay.
That's when I get my mani.
Okay. Now you can just
Yes, sit right here.
over your lap,
Okay.
and you're going to leave that there. And while we're doing
Right.
that,
Yes.
we're going to start with Josh. Now, in Josh's water also, I put a little bit of rosemary, which I think is really great, and a little bit of lavender. So we're going to start with Josh.
Does rosemary or lavender, do they
Lavender
have
is
any
calming
benefits?
to the skin, which really has a great benefit for skin like Josh's. I use sandalwood, which is for a little bit more hardy skin.
Okay.
And then I have a bergamot and ginger. That's really wonderful. So
Josh, this is going to be great.
this is going to be a lot of
Okay.
fun. So one of the things I asked Josh to do is, you notice Josh has got a little bit of razor burn
Yes,
here.
I do see that.
And the reason for that is because Josh is using an okay razor, but not the best
Josh,
razor.
what razor do you use? Without giving names, is it like one of those quadruple whatever?
Yeah, the power with the 17 blades.
With the-
Yeah.
And the GPS,
And the
right?
GPS.
above.
Yeah,
right.
all of the above. Okay, so we're going to
Lights.
start with this, and I assure you that I'm not. Josh and I don't do this together regularly, but we're just gonna soften.
Yeah, it's their first
Josh's
time together, just so
beard
you
a
guys
little
know.
bit. And this is something that I absolutely love when you go to a barber and they shave you, or
Yeah.
that you're sitting there and they just wrap this nice hot towel around
I
your
can
face.
honestly tell you, I've never experienced someone shaving another person. Once in a while, when my son gets his haircut at the barber, I might catch like a second where they shave part of their hair. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when
but
they
I've
use
never
a-
actually seen the whole process.
It's an interesting
This is the
process.
oil that you mentioned,
Now
the
this
pH
is a shave
balance.
oil. So now it's a very low molecular weight, so it's water soluble,
Mm-hmm.
and that's really important. Okay, it is 100% organic. All of my products are made in Oregon, which is like the capital of organic.
Yeah,
So
I think that is the capital of Oregon.
is it?
We looked. Can we check that, please?
Let's check that fact, but I think it is. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, and I'm just literally just going to smear it, unlovingly on his face, because we're friends,
like
but we're not
smearing.
that close. And the reason why you're doing this is going to do two things. This is going to soften his beard a little bit. It's also going to give him glide, which is going to protect his skin, which is something that the other razors really don't do for him.
Okay, Josh, do you feel anything at all, or not really?
No, it's
Okay.
a little moist.
Got it. Okay.
Okay, then we're going to follow up. Let's just go all the way. Now, you
Just
guys.
so you know, I'm a prisoner right now. I cannot do anything. I can't even get hair out of my face because I'm still praying.
Well, you
That's
can
okay.
actually start wiping that off if you like.
Wiping off or what? Not
you
washing.
Can, you can wipe it off with the
Okay.
cloth. You're going to find it's just going to disappear. It's almond oil. It's
Feels really good.
aloe.
It does.
It's great things. See, so now, why a brush? I know you want to know that,
Why a
right,
brush?
Lydia?
One out of
Why a
chicken.
brush?
Yes.
Well,
Why a brush?
The great part about using a brush is not only do you get every single hair completely coated.
And you're using a circular motion, by the way, but I interrupted you, but
Yes.
every hair coated.
Every hair coated, you're also gently exfoliating. This is what's called a silver tip brush. This
Daniel,
is a
doesn't
badger brush.
Uh-huh.
It's the finest made.
Badger brush. Doesn't the shaving exfoliate in and of itself?
It does, but this just gives you that little extra oomph. It's so gently.
Badger.
Badger
Badger,
brush.
badger,
Now
badger.
notice it's not a big luxurious foam like you're used to, but you really don't need that because those type of products are really designed to make the hair stand up, and then they have to do a little bit of like glide to go on there.
Okay.
So he's all set. So I'm going to show you. We're going to start this way. You saw what his razor did to him.
I did. I keep thinking, I'm the barber.
Yeah. And right
I'm
now
sold.
under this cape, he's like saying a prayer. He's saying the
no.
rosary. So
All right, so straight
here's
edge, I
the
love
important
this.
part about shaving with any razor. Okay, is you always want to stretch the skin a little bit. Okay, and you'll notice the way I hold this razor. Now, we don't teach people how to use these kind of razors. This is an art. But on Sunday, this is my razor. This is my luxury 45-minute shave. See, so I'm just going to come in here. Josh has really got quite the beard. Look, you can almost hear it.
Oh, wow, look at that.
See, I'm just going to bring him down a little bit. Now I'm going to show you the difference with the razor that you should be using, because you're not going to use this.
Yeah, that doesn't seem very practical. Not,
You're not going to use
not
this.
every day. Very pretty,
I truly enjoy my Sunday shave. I'm probably in the bathroom for an hour. When my kids are home, it becomes very funny. But okay, so now you can see.
Now you said you're using, it's the weight of the razor. You're really not applying any pressure, correct?
No pressure at all. Just, okay, and because there's a blade on both sides, we're just going to find his line.
So while you're shaving, I mean, is there a particular, you said an angle? I mean, you said 30 degrees for the actual razor, but what about the shaving?
30 degrees on the blade. Well, here's the misunderstanding in shaving. Every manufacturer tells you the same thing. They all say that when you shave, you have to go with the grain or against the grain. The reality is hair grows in circles. When you train as a barber, there are 13 motions. You go this way, then you go this way, then you go this way, then
13?
you go this way.
Wow.
Yeah, and you have to do all of them in order to pass your
So that
your
grain
test.
thing is completely not true. That's just false.
Completely not true.
Like
See,
shave
I'm just
with
gonna
the grain.
stretch his neck.
Who knew?
And I'm just going to come up.
Now, okay, as a woman sitting here, do these concepts or principles apply to women as well? Not that they're shaving their faces, I hope not, but legs or any other
You've
part
met
of
my
your-
friends.
I knew I'd love having you on.
Yes, the big difference in razors, and as we're now starting to design for women, is really that the weight is still key. You should never have to push with a razor. When you've got a blade like this that kind of wobbles and you have to push, but when you've got a true professional tool,
Right.
you should never have to push. Okay, so when for a woman, what you really want is notice this handle. Okay, well, the handle on a woman's razor would be a little bit more elongated. Okay, so that you really would not press.
I see.
You would just lie it on your skin and you would go and see. And I can safely do this
Yes,
because
without-
once I'm off 30 degrees, it does nothing. It's just gliding on my hand, no matter which way I go.
Right.
How do your hands feel?
They feel wonderful, and they look really good too. I always have such dry hands. I don't have good
You know,
nails,
women,
good hands.
one of the
I do.
reasons why I started developing
That
this
feels
is
really-
because women are constantly complaining about their hands and their feet.
Yes. Yes.
So I just felt that, we've got all this organic oil knowledge and stuff.
Well, when your women's line comes out, you know who you're going to ask
Oh,
to
absolutely.
be your spokesperson.
Well, you've just been one of my test subjects. So. And then
This is wonderful.
after we
Really
shave,
feels
then a good organic moisturizer, really important. Josh is a young, good-looking guy. He doesn't really have to, he's not thinking about remaining handsome and virile and young forever, okay? When he hits my age, he's like, gee, I really wish I would have stayed out of the sun and used a little moisturizer. So you really want to moisturize afterwards. Not heavily.
What is that?
but just
Can I
lightly.
try it a little bit?
Absolutely.
What is this? Why is this different than any other moisturizer, or is there something
First of all,
special?
it's 100% organic.
Yes,
And-
from Oregon.
And from Oregon. And each one of the products has slightly different properties. We have 4 ranges of products. For hardy beard, hardy skin, they require a little bit deeper moisture. Okay, what you're using right now is for a more sensitive skin. It's a lighter moisturizer.
Very nice. This
Lavender.
feels terrific.
Yeah, and then we've got like an in the middle.
Yes.
Okay, same thing with our tools. We've got
Yeah.
an in the middle, a luxury tool.
Okay.
So that you've got, taking care of like combination skins,
Okay.
so to speak, and then a completely fragrance free. Although all the fragrance are from essential oils, still some people like myself, I want to put on cologne.
Right. You don't want it fighting with it.
Yeah.
So let's go back to Josh one more
Okay.
time. We're gonna summarize. So number 1, oil.
You start with your hot cloth.
Hot cloth.
You start with getting your big butt in the gym.
Yes, gym. Number
Right.
1. Number 2,
Then you shower, hot cloth, oil.
oil.
Right, and
That's
then from oil, then you go to shave cream, brush,
Right.
good razor.
Okay.
Okay, and then take the cooled off cloth, wipe off the.
Do you want to get the other side off of him, or are you going to do that later?
We'll do it later,
Okay.
but you'll just wipe.
Figured I'd-
You'll just wipe this off. With
Okay.
your
Can you turn
now cooled
your
down
head a
cloth.
little that way? So. Oh, okay.
And you can see where I shaved him with
Yeah.
the straight, and then I shaved him with the safety, what we consider
Right.
a safety razor. And he's really nice. And then you use your moisturizer, and then you're done.
That's it.
Then you should hopefully go in your closet and find something that actually fits, because that's another part of being a better guy.
That fits. That's stylish. That is.
Yeah.
Seasonal.
Fit. You know what?
Yeah.
Everybody needs a blue suit. Everybody needs a gray suit, a pinstripe suit.
Yeah.
Everybody needs that.
Right.
They need to fit.
Okay. Quickly, so we have a few more minutes. Price point of these items.
Okay,
Can
so,
you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I manufacture razors that start at $60 and go all the way up to $200 with like oxhorn handles. The brushes start at $70 and go all the way to $200. We do these wonderful, just fantastic sets. This is a luxury set that we actually gave away at a charity event. But we do
that's
these
beautiful.
wonderful, wonderful sets.
Very
This is the
nice.
Mac Daddy of sets.
Okay.
The best brush.
That's a beautiful gift.
Everything.
Show it to the
Two
camera
different
maybe
type
one more
of shave
time. Let's see what we
creams.
have here. Yeah, that's good.
And
There we go.
everything.
Perfect.
There
That looks
we go.
great. And now this is something you can purchase, you said?
Yeah, this
How much
is
is something
this is
like
a
this?
$400 set.
Okay. But you know what? You said 10 razor blades, and it's
And
a year.
package of blades is $15.
That's great.
Go to the drugstore and buy blades for $15. You're going to get one blade.
Yeah, it's crazy. And like you said, the quality is not very good.
And maybe some gum.
Well, you're going to have to come back, and we're going to have to continue with all of these products and all of these items. This was
Absolutely.
wonderful.
We have summer fashions and all that stuff that we didn't even get a chance to talk
I
about.
know, and I want wait, one story. I know. I promised everyone we were going to hear at least one story. You ready?
Okay.
You have 30 seconds.
Okay, so
the best one:
quick
celebrity,
story,
someone shaving.
Shooting a commercial with the wonderful Dan Aykroyd. And I got there, and the first thing he said was, "Does anybody have razor and shaving cream?" And I looked at him and said, "No." You're not supposed to say no to the celebrity. I didn't realize that. So we actually got someone to run out, and I had to shave Dan Aykroyd. And when I was done, he just looked at me and he said, "You've done this before, right?" And I said, "Yes, I have."
Couple of
I said,
times.
"But I'm a little nervous around you." And he just patted me on the head because he is a big guy.
Yeah.
He just patted me on the head and he said, "You've done good." And I have a wonderful picture with him. He's a charming man.
And one last one. I know we're running late here, but you also mentioned, and I had to ask this about this flight to Amsterdam. Tell me just again.
I was going to South Africa for John Paul Mitchell Systems, and I took Ambien, and I got off the plane, and I recall walking up this wonderful street on this sunny day, and I was going to go up the street and look at all the shops and come back down the other side, and the next thing I knew, I was at the other end of the street where I started, and I had shopping bags. And I don't remember any of
Anything.
it. All I know is that I went shopping and I bought lovely clothes in a complete and utter Ambien coma.
Wonderful.
It was hilarious.
Well, Daniel, I just want to say thank you. If someone wants to get in touch with you, purchase your products, how can they do that?
EvolveProfessional.com. You can join our members list, which we don't send you a lot of stuff, but you can, we'll keep you posted of what's going on. And you can always ask a question. We're happy to help anytime.
Well, we may have to have a part 2 with Daniel Marrone, an
I
Evolved
would love
Professional,
to.
right?
It would be great.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning into the Everything Lydia show. Please join us again every Monday at 2:30 in the afternoon. We are adjourned until next week, or perhaps the following week. I'm actually going on vacation, so there may be a rerun. And if anyone has a legal question, please visit my website at asklydiathelawyer.com. And for any reruns of this show or previously recorded episodes, or if there's something you might have missed or you want to see again and see the very handsome Josh, thank you very much, then you can visit thedailyblue.com and go to the Everything Lydia Show channel. So I just want to say, remember to check your ordinary at the door, right? That's my
Yes,
line. And go live
absolutely.
that remarkable life. See ya. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.